Well, hello there and welcome back. A very good afternoon to you. You're watching Cybos TV with me, Daisy McAndrew, and we're now going to be talking about diversity in the boardroom, diversity in financial services, diversity across the board. And to discuss that issue with me, I'm delighted to have been joined on my far right by Liva Mostre from Euroclear. Welcome to the program, welcome to Cybos TV. Jose Placido, BNP Paribas, hello to you, Jose. Lisa Lansdowne-Higgins from RBC, very good afternoon to you. And finally on my far left, Francis van Beaver, CFO of Swift. Good afternoon to all of you and thank you so much. Liva, if I might come to you first, blazing the obvious question, why are there still so few women in financial services and in the boardroom?
Exactly. We find way too many women, not only in the boardroom, but also in the whole of the pyramids. There is still a problem of women making it through the ranks of our institutions. And I do believe that is not only a supply problem, like so many like to say, but it's also a way that we have to educate all managers, men and the few women that are there, to get better at detecting the female talent that is around.
So it's not just a supply problem, it's a lack of detection, it's a lack of noticing who might be good at this.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that? So what's the answer? Is it positive discrimination? A lot of politicians think it is. They think pass a law that says, you know, each boardroom has to have a certain percentage. Is that the way forward?
Well, I think the great thing first is that you're having a conversation about it. I would have said, 5, 10 years ago, certainly in my experience has been that we weren't even discussing it. It wasn't even on anybody's radar about what the diversity in the boardroom looked like and what it really meant to the organization. And certainly if you take a look at any of the statistics that are out there, the realities are by having that type of diversity in a boardroom, it helps with your financials and your bottom line. But if you take a look at it as a pipeline, there's no question we're not developing the talent that's there, we're not recognizing it, and we're not supporting it in any type of the dialogue that we need to be.
So if positive discrimination isn't the answer or isn't the entire answer, what is the answer? How do you educate people, as Liva said, to spot the talent, to bring it on? How do you stop women leaving when they have babies because it's not worth coming back?
Well, I think you raised some excellent points there, and I think some of that's about flexibility. It's about understanding what it is that some of those barriers might be from a female perspective and putting in some changes within your organization, being open to that it might be different for them and how it is that you could look at a policy that would better support that. I would say, I think the word discrimination is a tough word to use in this case, but I think you do actually have to put some goals in place. Whether you call that or define that as positive discrimination, I don't know. But if you can put the goals in place, at least you're leading towards the right direction and knowing that from a top down and a culture perspective, you're supporting that within your organization.
Now, Jose, of course, when we talk about diversity, we're not just talking about women, we're talking about diversity across the full spectrum. How do you improve and increase that?
Well, I think getting the gender balance, let's not eliminate that. I think there's still a lot of work to be done on the gender balance. I think that's really important. Getting the gender balance lets you actually go to the next step in a broader diversity definition.
So get one and hopefully the rest will fall into place?
I think it's a driver of change. I think having an open atmosphere that you can actually talk about these topics in a strategic business way, I think it's important. I think diversity is not a parallel process. I mean, diversity needs to be embedded in your business plans, needs to be monitored. It's a culture of change. So I think it starts from the leadership. I always say the shadow of the leadership team usually reflects the type of culture that the organization has. But I don't think it's a diverse conversation. I think it has to be embedded in your business plans. We're in 34 markets, not embracing the local managers. The days of the expats where we bring somebody to a local culture to run a business, I think is dead. I think you have to embrace local managers that have a say about their culture, the ways to do business, to be a better global organization, personally.
Francis, as an economist, does it make a difference to the bottom line, as people have said in passing, the gender balance, the diversity equation, does it make any difference to the performance of the business?
Well, if we believe some studies have been done, I think yes, it makes a balance. It makes a difference to the bottom line. And just using common sense, you have a lot of talent. To me, it's not only about detecting female talent, but it's also retaining. And when you see a lot of talented women leaving the company to do something else, well, clearly you're losing investment. So I think, and you're losing opportunities. So definitely, to me, it makes a difference. And we all know the richness of diverse teams. And it's not only gender, it's cultural, it's different profiles. And we all know that a more diverse team is more effective. So yes, I'm convinced it makes a difference to the bottom line, even if you can't put hard numbers on that.
Although, just to take on the risk-averse issue, which obviously a lot of people say, particularly in this area, that financial institutions should have more women on their boards in order to make those boards more risk-averse. But other evidence seems to say actually the particular type of woman who reaches that level of being on a board is not a risk-averse woman. She's quite the opposite. Do you believe that truth or opposite?
I believe that restricting the discussion on being more or less risk-averse, it's just too monolithic. I think to me, it's important you have diversity and you bring different views. Now, I think you can have women who are, and in some respects, when you see women taking career changes when they're 40 or 45, sometimes, in some respect, on the personal side, they're sometimes more embracing risk than us men because we stay on our track. So I think this is a bit of too much of a black and white view for me.
Too much black and white. Well, let's go into another very black and white area. Leva, of course, there's a lot of been accusations over the years, not helped by movies and Hollywood and so on, that the trading floor is a very aggressive, testosterone-driven, locker room mentality that puts women off or doesn't embrace women or pushes women out. Is there still a truth in that?
Well, I would certainly not say that is gone everywhere. I believe it has a lot to do with the values that companies have, and then the way how they live their values and how they make people, managers, accountable and incentivized towards them. So it is all also about measuring and about then also motivating everybody, men and women, to speak up when they see non-acceptable behavior or non-acceptable language or whatever. So I believe with such a culture and such a value, we will get those things away. But I would not make the statement that they are fully away today.
Okay, well, that's just given us a taste of the issues surrounding this area. And I know there's a panel session on Thursday morning where this issue is going to be continued. And we're also going to continue talking about gender diversity here in the studio for a Spotlight, Sibos Spotlight session coming up next. If you want to come and see that, do come and join us here in the hall. But for now, that's it from me, Daisy McAndrew, and Sibos TV. Many thanks.